In this video, I'll be showing how I built these two matching walnut end tables with a cat or dog hutch, and start cutting all four sides, the two tops, two bottoms, and two shelves. I lay them all out in order and then I label them. Then time for squaring and flattening at the joiner. After that, I'll take them over to the planer and flatten the opposite side. Now the days of glue ups, since I don't have enough long clamps, and each panel, top, bottom, and drawer is clamped up using cawls to keep it flat. So if you wait 30 minutes to several hours, depending on the temperature in your shop, then you can take a scraper and scrape off the glue. It actually makes much less sanding. All the cut off pieces I actually save, and those will be used as my face fronts. For the carcass, I use tongue and groove joinery to hold everything together. Once the dados are done, it's off to the router table to make the tongues. I also will cut the back groove where the back panel will sit into. I added pocket hole joinery in the top portions where the top will rest on the front and the back of the carcass. These will never show and will also be covered by the face fronts and the back panel. I make sure everything is a good fit, then I dry clamp everything prior to glue up. During the glue up, I do take a square to make sure everything is 90 degrees. This was my favorite part, making the decorative face front. And I cut down and plane all the face front pieces. I take a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, I make it longer than the actual product piece. Then using this high-tech arch structure, I made the decorative curve, centered it, and then cut it out on the bandsaw. Make sure your template is smooth as possible, so take extra time sanding all the edges. I use a red Sharpie on the dark walnut. It helps it stand out better on the bandsaw. Then take it to the bandsaw, rough cut it out, and forget to hit the shutter button so that way you don't see that. but there's my cutout pieces. Using CA glue, attach your template to the workpiece. At the router table, I take a compression bit, or you can use a flush trim bit, and you'll see where that longer template comes in handy, so that way you can feed into the bearing and minimize kickback or tearing up your workpiece. I like this white side compression bit. It minimizes tear out and leaves a very smooth surface. I make sure both pieces are even. And now it's time for the glue up process. I take a Kreg pocket hole plug kit to fill up the holes, which nobody's going to see anyway. They sure are cute. Look at these cute little things. Look how they just fall out. I add pocket holes to the bottom and the bottom part of the shelf. This gives me some extra support if anyone ever pulls on the decorative front or if they pull on it from the bottom. I add my pocket holes, then take some walnut sawdust, mix it with glue and smear it in the small voids. Again, an extra step that's not needed. I take a flush trim router bit to the face front and then off for the hours of sanding. I had quite a large scratch / dent in one of the side panels, so a little tip is spray it with water, use a steam iron, and it will help pop out dents and dings and scratches. I forgot to take a picture of it beforehand, but this just shows how smooth it is afterwards. I use dowels to attach the top, and the jig that I have to transfer the opposing pin, you have to come from inside to inside, meaning since the walls were all glued up, I couldn't do that. So I use these dowel transfer pins, and it leaves an obvious indentation in the bottom of the table. Unfortunately, the kit that I bought didn't come with enough of them, so I had to actually transfer it twice. Once the tops are glued on, I do use my cawls to add equal clamping force along the whole tabletop. I take my air compressor, I blow the tables off, then I wipe it down with mineral spirits. Following that, I use a tack cloth to wipe off any excess dust. It's actually pretty amazing how much the cloth will take off when you think it's a clean surface. I use General Finishes polyurethane. So I start cutting and planing down the face fronts of the drawers. I use OG bit raised panel style. The drawers will be constructed of 1/2-inch plywood, and they'll be held together with rabbet joinery. So meaning the drawer backs will have rabbets and the sides will be dadoed. The drawer fronts are held together by tongue and groove, but technically is called rail and stile. The stile is the sides and the rails are the top and bottom. I always take a scrap piece and use those first and label them. And then I also have a pre-cut template and a piece of paper, just because I don't do these that often and I kind of have to reteach myself every time. I do label the router bits just because, again, I don't use them that often. That way I have a quick, easy guide to set things up. It makes the whole process go so much faster. Once I know that my scrap pieces are actually a good fit, then I'll go on and do my actual real work pieces. The rails are cut first, and again that's the top and bottom portion of the face front. And then you'll change bit to the stile, which is the inside groove of all 4 pieces. If working with a small drawer front, your stiles will actually be really tiny little pieces. So I keep those long, and then I'll go over to the miter table and cut them down to their actual length. Now it's time to do the middle raised panel portion. This is such a large bit, so do not forget to turn down your router speed. I raise the depth of the bit very, very slowly, only taking out small portions. Then I'll glue the front panels up. While that's drying, I'll start making the drawers. For the bottom part of the drawer, it'll be a 1/4 inch plywood. I find it helpful to use a 1/2 inch undersized bit so that way it fits nice and tight into that groove. Then rabbet your drawer backs and dado the sides. Sand the grooves. Start gluing up the drawers. Sometimes I'll use painter's tape on the inside just to prevent squeeze out from getting on the plywood. I do apply a decorative maple edge. I just think it gives a nice professional finished look. Anytime you use staining on plywood, I do recommend using a pre-stain. It just helps for equal absorption. For the drawers, I actually use colonial maple stain. I think it backs well with the walnut. Now it's time for the rail installation, which I wish I would have decided to put a drawer in before attaching the top. It would have made it a little easier. Actually, a hell of a lot easier. I shim up the drawer, attach the rail to the drawer, and then she is finished. Beautiful fit. Craig does make a whole drawer installation kit. It does make it easy to self-center things. So I drill a hole in the face front, then I take a screw and go all the way through, clamp the face front to the drawer, attach the drawer to the face front via screws on the inside. Then take your drill bit, drill all the way through the face front, and then attach your knob. I use a scrap piece of wood for this, so that way I have less blowout on the plywood. Now it's time to attach the backs. If you see, there's that raw wood, so that way I know the glue will have a good bond. And that's a wrap. Everything turned out really well. I'm pretty happy. I hope her pets like it too. Mine sure did.